What is the most bizarre reason a customer got angry with you? I was working at McDonald's. A customer complained that there was not a tomato on her Big Mac. I explained to her that Big Macs do not come with tomatoes unless special ordered. She then proceeded to sing the Big Mac song to me in front of a lobby full of customers, adding the word tomato into the song lyrics in an attempt to prove her point. After I handed him his coffee, instead of saying thank you to him, Elle told him to have a nice day. He sent an email to corporate and my manager telling them I was rude to him because I didn't follow a company standard. I had a customer storm upstairs to customer services to make a complaint because we'd moved menswear upstairs, and he couldn't get upstairs because of his knees. So he went upstairs. About all I could do was call the support desk, apologize for what they were about to receive. Edit: we had an elevator, but he was also claustrophobic, apparently. Had an older gentleman order a food scale that was like a 10 pounds capacity. The platform was a few inches wide. He received it and called me yelling, "How the hell am I supposed to stand on this thing?" We are a redistributor, and he was also upset that we sold the product with someone else's instructions and name on it. I think I've told this story once in a post somewhere else, probably with one of my old accounts. I used to work deli for a New England grocery chain, working in Vermont. Working in one of the bigger stores meant that we would often be loaned out during ski season to small stores with big holiday booms. It was very busy for them. About normal for my store. I was slicing cheese for a woman who got real angry that I hadn't stacked her cheese perfectly straight, which blew my mind. Who expects deli sliced cheese to be stacked perfectly? The story has a happy ending though. Her exact, indignant words were, "Where I'm from in New York, they stack the cheese perfectly straight," and the guy behind her, a regular the local employees had greeted by name, piped up and said, "Well then maybe you should go the fuck back to New York." Best moment I've ever had at work. A customer came in to buy hand sanitizer. She brought her bottle to the register to purchase it, saw there was some at the register, then proceeded to share her vast knowledge of swear words with great vigor with me, swearing she would never shop with us again. What? I was working at a coffee and wine bar when I had a man scream at me because he ordered the regular, and I didn't know what he wanted. It was my first time meeting him, which catastrophically aligned with the first time I was left to take care of the register alone. I couldn't get away from the yelling, "Where the hell do you think you're going?" in order to ask the people in the back what he wanted. His regular got written out, laminated, and pinned to the cash register after that. He kept screaming, "Do you know who I am?" over and over, which, "No sir, I do not know who you are. This is the first time we met." Also, it turns out he was no one but a dick. My first job was in the produce department of a local grocery store. One morning, a middle-aged woman came in and asked me if we have any organic pears in the back room because the ones up front didn't look great. I explained to her we would be getting our shipment in the following morning and she could come back then to pick some organic ones up. Or we have regular pears available in the next row. She did not like this. Aside from getting yelled at, she requested to speak with my manager, who also had to get an earful of complaints. This isn't anything super out of the ordinary, and I was kind of used to the occasional upset customer. What killed me though is as she is about to walk away, she turns and says, "I'll be back tomorrow to get the pears." I don't know what my bird is going to eat today though. He has to eat organic. They noticed I had an accent. I'm from Southern Virginia and North Carolina area, and pointed it out as Russian. I don't know how they possibly thought my accent was Russian, but I corrected them and they got angry that I was being condescending to them. Lady walked into my office, asking for one of my colleagues. I explained to her that he actually works out of a different office, which is listed in his email signature and our website. She was upset, as she had documents to drop off to him. I explained to her that his office is only 3 minutes down the street if she wanted to make the drive, or I could scan her documents and email them to him. She refused. So I said, well, you can leave them here with me and I can ask the guy to come pick them up tomorrow. She again said no, because she didn't trust me. I explained that I am the director of operations for the company, basically my colleague's boss. She then yells that she doesn't know me and this is extremely sensitive information and storms out. 1 minute later, she comes in and asks for my business card to prove I am who I say I am, lol. I give her one, and she leaves her stuff with me and storms off again. A woman I had never met or seen in my life asked me where her kids were. I was confused and said, I'm sorry, I don't know. And she yelled and asked where they put them. She stormed off angry at me. I never had a clue why she asked me. We didn't have any Bibles that were large print, pocket-sized, and contained the full text of the Bible. Now, we had large print Bibles and we had pocket-sized Bibles, all containing the full text you'd expect. We even had a large print pocket-sized Words of Jesus compendium. But this customer wanted a Bible that was all the words, printed larger, yet somehow smaller when it was all put together. I tried to tell her that this was impossible, but she wasn't having it. I also had a customer that wanted a Bible that was in English, but somehow not a translation. He kept saying, the original, he wanted the original Bible. But he didn't want the New Testament Greek one we had. He wanted the original, but in English. Well, every translation in English thinks they're capturing something of the original, I said. They do all this scholarship. I don't care about scholarship. He interrupted me. I just want the original. I ended up leaving him in the King James Version section and said, let me know if there's anything else I can do, while walking away quickly enough to not hear anything back. All of this was at a regular Borders, by the way, not a Bible store. This lady at Walmart once got really pissed off at me because we didn't sell pasteurized eggs. And this wasn't the loud, screaming kind of pissed off. She just looked at me very intensely and spoke at low volume, over-enunciating every syllable, and said, tell your managers to order pasteurized eggs. This other lady grabbed my arm and started pulling on me, telling me that the fact that we shut down our sewing department felt like we had killed her child. And that less and less people were going to come to Walmart because of stuff like that and that we would have to close down. Customer ordered a dish that always comes with French fries. Got mad when he got his French fries, because he wanted bread. NBD, I apologized, although I did nothing wrong, and brought him some bread immediately. Problem solved, you'd think, but he then started yelling at me because apparently the restaurant always serves this with bread. I should have just agreed with him, but I foolishly didn't. He told me I was wrong. I told him I had worked there for 5 years already, that I knew I wasn't wrong, and I advised him to tell staff that he wanted bread when ordering next time. At this point he got red in the face and screamed that he knew better because he'd been a customer for 10 years already, which is rich, since the restaurant hadn't even been open that long. Long story short, the owner came over to his table, she supported me, the guy ate his food that must have been cold by then and never came back. I'll never forget his poor wife quietly trying to calm him down and to get him to let it go. She was incredibly embarrassed, but I doubt he even noticed. I remember a happy man walks into the bar where I was serving with his grumpy wife. I set myself to please her no matter what, in anticipation. However, she stormed off in the first minute of being there because the fresh tonic I was pouring from a glass bottle I opened in front of her wasn't fizzy enough. The husband shrugs his shoulders, orders a pint and sits alone. Something tells me that wasn't his first rodeo. Because I didn't open up shop an hour before opening time. Because he was here now, soap in the store. He kept banging on the door and then threw a metal bucket at my head. Good times. Worked at Walmart and this guy went through my line buying something for his tires. He accidentally got two different things. One was a lot more expensive than the other. He got pissed, looking at his receipt, and demanded to know why one cost more money. I looked at the products and noticed one had some gel inserted in the product. I told him this and he demanded to know why this made the product more expensive. I explained to him I knew nothing about cars and was just a cashier, but he could go to customer service to exchange the more expensive product for the cheaper one. He then refused to leave my line until I lowered the price of the more expensive product. By the way, I was working the express checkout line on Friday at 5:30 and a huge line was forming behind this man-child. My manager finally got him to leave the line and go to customer service, though his son was in line behind him and apologized for his father's actions. I applied another discount to the total instead of the promoted discount to save her more money. Had to get into an argument with her just to explain I'm trying to save her more money. She wasn't having it. Pay more money? I don't fucking care anymore. Apparently when she said she wanted a hot fudge sundae, she meant strawberry sundae.